Savannah revenge stories. She sold our home. My plan burned her. She called me in Berlin. Voice cold, demanding a divorce. She'd sold our home, claiming my best friend's child. But when I hung up, my fight began, and her world started to crumble. If this story moved, you don't forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe to Viora for more unforgettable stories that speak to the heart. My name's Landon Vickers, 48, owner of a boutique real estate firm in Savannah, Georgia. I'm no tycoon, but I've carved out a solid life, $4 million in assets. A historic townhouse on Jones Street with oak-shaded charm and a Tybee Island beach cottage where the waves drown out the noise. Renee, my wife of 10 years, was the pulse of it all, 36, with a smile that could sell waterfront property and a talent for event planning that lit up Savannah's elite galas. We met at a client's oyster roast, her wit sharper than the Tabasco. We were unbreakable weekend sales, her hand in mine under live oaks, dreaming of our next deal. No kids, just us and our retriever Jasper. I thought we were bulletproof. Renee's family, the Ashfords, saw me as an outsider, Savannah's old guard. They flaunted their wealth, cotton-era fortunes, yacht clubs' names on city plaques. Her father, Warren Ashford, a retired banker, called me the property guy with a sneer. Her mother, Celeste, draped in linen, offered smiles that cut like wire. Her sister, Blair, a gallery owner, mocked my firm as cute. Renee laughed it off, said they'd warm up. I swallowed their jabs, kept my chin up, for her love makes you armor-plated. It started with a call. I was in Berlin mid-conference pitching a deal to German investors when my phone buzzed. Renee's voice was ice, no preamble. Landon, I'm done. I want a divorce. I'm pregnant with Kurt's kid. My knees buckled, the hotel lobby spinning. Kurt Denman, my best friend of 20 years, 49. The guy who'd co-signed my first office lease, who'd grilled steaks at our cottage. I've sold the townhouse, she continued, and the Jag don't come back. The line went dead. I stood frozen. Berlin's lights blurring my chest, a crater. I didn't scream, didn't call back. Rage burned, but I'm a man who plays the long game. I dialed my lawyer, Claire Ramsey. Voice steady. Freeze everything, accounts, assets, now. Claire's tone was sharp. What's happened? I told her, each word a knife. Get a PI track. Renee, I called my CFO, Nate Howell. Audit the firm's books, every cent. Nate hesitated. Landon, this is, I cut him off. Do it. My phone pinged a bank alert, $80,000 withdrawn from our joint account. Renee's name on the transfer, to Kurt's account. My jaw locked, but I saved the screenshot. Evidence was my weapon. By dawn, Claire had news. The townhouse sale's pending, but Renee forged your signature. I flagged it illegal. Accounts are frozen. I smirked cold. Good. What about Kurt? Claire's voice tightened. He's with her, Miami, some luxury condo. The PI's digging. I booked a flight home. Berlin's deal on hold. Savannah was my battlefield. Now I pulled up Renee's cloud backups. Her password unchanged. A rookie mistake. Photos loaded Renee and Kurt poolside in Miami. Her laugh bright. His arm possessive emails followed Renee to Blair. Landon's clueless. Kurt's got big plans. My fist clenched, but I archived everything, each bite a bullet. Nate called, voice grim. Found something. Renee's been funneling $30,000 from the firm's escrow to a shell company. Kurt's name's on it. My blood ran cold. My firm, my pride was their piggy bank. I told Nate, trace it. Deep. He hesitated. There's more. Blair's involved. Her gallery's tied to the shell. The Ashfords weren't just complicit. They were orchestrating. I hired Jack Holt, a PI with a nose for dirt. Follow Kurt, I said. And Blair. Jack's first report hit like a grenade. Kurt wasn't just Renee's lover, he was a grifter with a trail of scams across 3 states, charming women, draining their accounts. He'd used Renee's name to open a $50,000 loan, forged her signature too. Renee thought she was in love. Kurt thought she was a mark. I saved the loan docs, my mind racing. This wasn't just a revenge story, it was a chess game. And I was 3 moves ahead. Then Blair texted smug. Meet me, Ashford Mansion, Friday 9 p.m. alone. No mention of Renee. My gut screamed trap, but Jack had dirt. Blair's gallery was a front laundering Kurt's dirty money. I printed the evidence, packed a recorder, and called Claire Prep, a fraud sued Ashfords. Kurt, all of them. She pushed back. Landon, you're playing with fire. I smirked. Good, I like the heat. The mansion loomed, Savannah's humid night, thick with menace. I was walking into a viper's nest, but I had the venom. Blair's text was a live wire, the Ashford mansion, a tinderbox ready to ignite. I drove through Savannah's rain, Jasper's low growl in the back, my recorder burning in my pocket. Kurt's Miami photos with Renee seared my soul, but Jack's report on his cons kept my mind razor sharp. This wasn't just a fight, it was a war I'd win. I roared toward the Ashford estate, Savannah's gas lamps flickering in the storm rain, slashing the windshield like a warning. Jasper's ears twitched, sensing the tension as I gripped the wheel, my pulse a war drum. The flash drive in my jacket held my Arsenal Bank Records forged townhouse sale papers, Kurt's $50,000 loan fraud, and Renee's damning emails, Claire Ramsey. My lawyer had stalled the sale, but the $80,000 Renee wired to Kurt was a bleeding wound. Jack Holt, my PI, texted Kurt's meeting someone tonight. Forsyth Park Fountain, Blair's Gallery is a front, big money's moving. My jaw clenched. Another player was circling, and the Ashfords were deeper in this than I'd thought. Celeste opened the mansion's oak doors. Her linen dress, pristine smile, a venomous blade, Landon Howe, audacious. Her eyes flicked to Jasper, leashed at my side, then narrowed to slits. This is family. I stepped into her space. Voice low, lethal. I'm here for Blair, step aside. Her pearls clicked a nervous tick before she led me through the chandelier-lit foyer, ancestral portraits glaring down like judges. The parlor was a fortress of velvet and cigar smoke. Warren Ashford by the fireplace, whiskey swirling eyes hard as Flint Blair lounged on a chaise pearl, earrings glinting, her smirk a taunt. No Renee, no Kurt. The air was a loaded rifle primed to fire. Sit, Warren barked, gesturing to a chair. A manila envelope waited, sealed with their crest, heavy with malice. I opened it, divorce papers. My name in stark print terms. A guillotine. I'd lose the Tybee Island cottage, my firm's port listings, and 60% of my assets to support Renee's child sign. Warren said, voice flat. She's pregnant with Denman's kid. Your history. Blair leaned in, grin sharp. Kurt's her destiny, Vickers. You're just the hired hand. Jasper's hackles rose, his growl echoing my rage, but I kept my face granite, my hand steady. I slid the flash drive from my jacket, voice ice, before I sign. Let's talk money. Warren's lip curled, dismissive. No tricks, realtor. I plugged it into my phone, hit play. Renee's email audio filled the room. Landon's clueless, Kurt's got plans. Silence hit like a sledgehammer. Celeste's whiskey glass trembled, splashing her wrist. Warren's face purpled, veins throbbing. Blair shot up, snarling, that's fake. I tossed Jack's report on the table. $80,000 wired, $30,000 from my firm's escrow. Kurt's shell company, Blair's Gallery is the laundry. You're robbing your sister, my life, I said, voice a razor. My lawyer's got fraud charges locked and loaded. Warren slammed his fist, fireplace logs crackling. You're out of your league. I leaned in, voice low, test me. Blair lunged for the report, but Jasper barked, teeth flashing, freezing her in place. I pulled up Jack's photos. Kurt and Renee, Miami condo. Her wedding ring gone, plus Kurt's forged loan docs in Renee's name. He's a grifter. I said, you bet on a fraud, Celeste gasped. How vulgar. The relatives in the hall, uncles, cousins, murmured their loyalty, fraying like old rope. I hit record on my burner. Voice steady, Blair spill on the gallery. She paled, stammering. It's clean. I showed a bank wire, $20,000 from her account to Kurt's shell labeled art consultation. Clean. She froze, then hissed, you don't get it, Landon, it's bigger than Kurt. My gut twisted. Bigger. I called Nate Howell's speaker on. What's bigger? Nate's voice was grim. Eleanor Ashford, Warren's aunt. She's funneling millions through Blair's Gallery to Kurt's scams. My blood ran cold. Eleanor, 62. The Ashford's shadow queen. Her historic trust a front for dirty deals. Warren roared, enough, but the relatives were slipping out whispers like a gathering storm. I leaned closer to Blair, recorder hot talk, or this hits the Savannah morning news. She cracked, voice low. Eleanor wants your firm's port deal for her condos. Kurt was her hook. My firm, my legacy was their endgame. Jasper's growl mirrored my fury, but I stayed calm, her words gasoline on my fire. Then Nate called, voice urgent. Found another wire, $15,000 from Eleanor to Claire Ramsey. My heart stopped. Claire, my lawyer, the woman I'd trusted to freeze my accounts. She's been leaking your bids, Nate said to Eleanor. Another traitor. I gripped the phone, voice low. Keep digging, the parlor felt like a cage. The Ashford's eyes predatory, but I was the hunter now. The door slammed open, Renee burst in, rain-soaked. Her coat dripping, eyes wild like a hurricane over the Savannah River. Landon, what's this? She saw the photos, froze, breath ragged. You tracked me. I handed her the loan docs, voice, ice, you and Kurt bled us dry. Your family orchestrated it. She scanned the papers, tears spilling, then whirled on Blair. Voice, a whip, you used me. Celeste tried Renee, he's twisting. Renee slapped the table, crystal shattering. Shut up, Mom. The room went deathly still. Renee's eyes met mine, raw but fierce. What else? I hesitated. The next twist would break her. Jack texted Eleanor's meeting Kurt tonight, Forsyth Park Fountain. They're flipping your cottage title. My cottage where Jasper chased waves, where Renee and I watched sunsets. Renee grabbed my arm. Voice steel, I'm coming. I nodded. Trust a flicker. Her fire undeniable. But Jack wasn't done. Found another player. Silas Ashford, Warren's brother, Silas 55, a yacht broker with a shady past, always distant at family galas. He's been emailing Kurt, Jack said. Your firm's client lists, deal terms, he's in deep. My stomach churned. Another Ashford knife. I called Claire's speaker off, voice low. You got anything to confess? Her pause was too long, her voice too smooth. All good, Landon. My gut screamed liar. As we left, a car idled across the street, its driver cloaked in shadow. Jasper growled, hackles up. My phone pinged a new email anonymous to me. Back off, Vickers, or the cottage burns. My blood ran cold. The park loomed a battlefield under moonlight, and someone was already drawing blood. The car's shadow lingered in the rain, its driver, a ghost beyond Jasper's growl. My phone burned with the anonymous threat, back off, or the cottage burns. Renee's eyes blazed beside me, her fury matching mine. Forsyth Park was a trap, but we were done running. This was our stand. I sped toward Forsyth Park, Savannah's gas lamps casting long shadows, the rain a relentless drumbeat. Jasper's ears twitched in the back. Renee's breath ragged beside me, her hands clutching her phone. Vivian's texts, proof of her family's betrayal. My pulse thundered, but Jack Holt's voice on speaker kept me sharp. Eleanor's at the fountain, Kurt's with her. Silas is circling, armed. The anonymous email gnawed at me. Claire Ramsey's $15,000 wire, a fresh wound. My lawyer, my ally, was a traitor, and someone else wanted blood. I gripped the wheel, voice low. Jack, find the ghost car's driver. His reply was grim. On it, Park's hot, stay low. Renee's voice cut through fierce. I didn't see Kurt's lies, Landon. But I see now. She swiped her phone, showing a new text from Blair. Get out of Savannah, Eleanor's done playing. I glanced at her. Trust a flicker. But her resolve steel. You're with us. She nodded, eyes burning. All in. I parked a block from the park oaks, dripping the fountain's glow, a beacon in the dark. My recorder was live, Jack's feed streaming on my phone. Eleanor and Kurt hunched over documents, their voices faint. Vickers is finished. Kurt sneered. The cottage title's ours. Eleanor's laugh was cold and his port deal's mine. We slipped through the park. Jasper. Silent, Renee's step steady. The fountain loomed, its water shimmering like a blade. Kurt spotted us, his smirk fading. Vickers, Eleanor turned her tailored coat, pristine eyes narrowing. Landon. How reckless. I stepped forward, voice ice, your game's up. Renee held up her phone. Vivian's texts blazing, push Renee to Kurt, break Vickers. Kurt cursed, lunging for it. But Jasper snarled, teeth flashing, stopping him cold. I played Blair's recorded confession, Eleanor's after the port deal. Kurt's her bait. Eleanor's face paled, but she sneered, You're a gnat! Jack emerged from the shadows, his marine bulk a wall. Not tonight. He tossed a file. Silas Ashford's emails to Kurt detailing my firm's client lists. Deal terms, and a $100,000 payoff from Eleanor's trust. Silas sold you out. Jack said. Kurt's eyes darted, sweat beading. Renee stepped closer, voice a whip. You used me, Kurt, my family too. She played a voicemail from Celeste, keep Landon. Distracted, Eleanor needs his firm. The park went still, the fountains hummed deafening. Eleanor laughed, venomous. You think this stops me? I pulled up Nate Howell's report, $200,000 laundered through her trust, tied to Claire Ramsey's offshore account. This does, I said, voice low. Fraud, conspiracy, forgery. Claire's betrayal stung, but I'd called her bluff hours ago, forwarding Nate's files to the DA. Kurt bolted, but Jack tackled him, cuffs clicking. You're done. Jack growled. Silas appeared, pistol glinting, but Renee stepped in front, voice steady. Shoot me, Uncle Silas. And your name. His hand shook, then dropped. Jack disarmed him, face grim. Then the ghost car screeched up, its driver stepping out. Travis Morrow, 50, a rival realtor I'd outbid years ago. His grudge festering. You're finished, Vickers. He spat, holding a burner phone. The anonymous email was his. I hit. Record voice calm. Why, Travis? He laughed wild. Eleanor paid me to bury you. Your firm's mine. Renee's eyes widened, but she stayed firm, recording too. Travis lunged, but Jasper leaped, pinning him, teeth at his throat. Police sirens wailed, lights flashing. Jack's tip had brought them fast. Kurt was cuffed, spitting venom. Eleanor's composure shattered, her screams echoing as cops dragged her away. Silas went quietly, his legacy dust. Travis was hauled off his burner, seized. I sent Nate's files to the bank, voiding Renee's $80,000 transfer forgery, proven my name cleared. The Savannah Morning News ran the headline, Ashford Dynasty faces fraud laundering probe. Warren's bank tanked Celeste's galas, vanished. Blair's gallery shuttered. Renee and I met Nate at his office. Jasper sprawled by the door. You've got them, Nate said, tossing a legal pad. Eleanor's facing 20 years, Kurt's got 8, Claire's cooperating. I leaned back, the weight shifting. And Renee. Her eyes met mine, raw but resolute. I'll testify, she said. Against my family, Kurt, everyone. I nodded, a spark of respect cutting through the scars. Jack dropped a final bomb. Got a video, he said, emailing a file grainy from a dive bar. Warren slurring to a stranger. We hired Kurt to charm Renee, ruin Vickers, take his deals. My stomach churned. Renee gasped, tears streaming. They planned it all. I nodded, voice avow. They're finished. We leaked the video to the press, no trace back. Headlines erupted. Ashford patriarch confesses to marriage sabotage. Warren faced bankruptcy. Celeste was shunned. Eleanor's trust seized. Claire was indicted. Her betrayal. Bitter, I sold the townhouse, the cottage, every tainted memory. We moved to a sleek loft on Broughton Street, Jasper basking in the sun. Savannah's pulse below. My firm thrived, leaner clients rallying. Renee and I stayed married. Legal battles bound us, divorce too costly. She rebuilt her event firm, I rebuilt my trust brick by brick. Nate and I met for bourbon. His grin wide. You wrote one hell of a revenge story, he said. I shook my head. Not revenge. Truth. He nodded, understanding. What's next? I sipped, the city alive outside, keep moving. Renee joined us. Her smile, tentative, real. We weren't healed, but we were trying. The Ashford's fall was Savannah's scandal. Travis's arrest. The final nail. But questions lingered. Did I burn too much, push too hard? Should I have spared Renee's heart or let her family sink her? Was staying with her courage or compromise? I poured a bourbon. Jasper snoring, the loft quiet to freedom. I said, glass raised, what's next? A new dawn, forgiveness, or another war? What would you do standing where I stand? Like what you heard, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Viora, because the next story might just be your favorite one yet.